All right, here we go. Welcome to rlmradio.xyz. This is some feedback. I'm your host, Vinny, with some challenges. And it looks like we are starting with challenges, and that is my audio volume. So I'll have to deal with it if I turn everything all the way up. Oh, okay. Thanks, Grimmer. Well, that's the way we're going to have to do it today, as it may be. This is feedback episode 3, challenges. And where do we step up in challenges? You know, what are we against here? Or in all things in life, we have challenges that we have to deal with. And the first thing to remember is not to deny that which is against us in authority. Instead, identify it, or better yet, make the question that makes them or it ID itself, outing themselves in a sense, right? Then copy and paste. It's so easy. Thanks, Al. A lot of these references I've in gathering in my out and about on this journey of exploration as a pathfinder, looking to bring things together and make sense of it. Hal Anthony plays a very big part of my study and behind the woodshed, lessons learned along the way. We'll come back to some of this, but we're going to look at some things like, well, we're not going to really look at them. I'm just going to make mention and let the listener do their own research and take a look for themselves and get involved, right, where you can, and make your life better, make others' lives better if you'd like to do that. Even a dog, rescue me. Are we, or do we do what we say? Don't make hay, right? After all, and you got to make hay when the sun shines. Do you know? If you don't, you better be sure in what it is you say. Boy, so many things are misconstrued. There's some undulation in language when you got away with words. Now, especially we see this in those that sit in the seats of authority or authority. And a higher accountability shouldn't they be held to a higher accountability? And you just can't say everything looks great and think that it's going to be okay. No matter if you choose to engage or disengage, you're still in it, right? If you're in a burning building, eventually that fire's going to burn up all the oxygen, and you can say, no more voice of your own, no more action that you can hope to add at that time. So there's a big problem when you say it's okay because you say so. It's standing behind the method, a policy, and isn't that little more than policing of self-censor? You are your own cop. So change your style or smile all the while, as he's saying right here on the dotted line. It's your soul that's on the line, your very life, right? So what's in the mix? Even a little dung that's slung, it's still going to sting. So turn slowly. Slowly I turn, step by step. The dawning of realization. So when you knew or should have all along, and it hit you, bam, right in the face. We've got primal instincts in our relations and how we interact, and mainly when you look at somebody else, you might consider what you do serve me. That's kind of a lot of times what we'll see in people, and that's self-preservation. So all this stuff that is so deep inside of us, there are inner wiring, chemicals and electricity and neurons and all that is so deep. It is just a part of us, and when you consider the programming that's been served up to us, hot or cold, that's what we get in our feed It's what regurgitation, paraphrasing, plagiarism, and all that entails. Regurgitated feedback. So serve it up, right? Controlling the narrative. That's like the number one rule in the Ten Commandments of propaganda. That's a little reference to Michael Cross's one of his guests. I can't recall his name, but anyways, I enjoyed that presentation. But I see in that fella, he's a professor. Oh, I forget what university, but a staunch conservative. So that is reflected even in him trying to say he's exposing propaganda. So I think I have another vehicle cruising up. Certainly. Oh boy, and it just in time to come in probably and nip on the Wi-Fi. I'll probably have to set the mic down and let them know. It's always perfect timing. The phone will ring next. But anyways, I plan on making this a short one today. This is a test, and we're in an actual emergency. You'd have been, uh-oh. Talk softly and carry a very small kind of stick. Hold on. Hey, Gump! Gump! Hey, come here a minute, would you, bud? How's the volume on that? Hey, Becky, I'm glad you made it, sweetie. How you doing? So I've got my friend over here to let them know yonder to not to jack the Wi-Fi at the moment. So stand by with me and I'll regather my thoughts. Hey, would you do me a favor? I'm doing some radio. Would you ask Yolanda and Buddy over if not to plug into the Wi-Fi right now? Because it'll knock me off. Well, just if you'll do me that favor and this. Yeah, well, no. Just ask them and relay that information for me if you would. Can you do that for me? I thank you. Okay. Where, oh, where? Let's have a drink of coffee. Where was I? I believe I'll have cherries on my burger. True story. The person says, you ordered cherries on your burger. Why would I put cherries on my burger? Well, that's what they thought they heard and so forth. They did hear it and even had backup from a coworker there and says, yeah, well, how did they hear that? We get this wiring, right? So, that's where I was. Jules, yes, she continues mornings. Let me check over here. Mornings and exploring this, how this these neurons and connections and all this stuff inside the brain and how they're being hijacked. What I like to call the God-Man project of science, the mad science. So, yeah, you see why Jules is every morning over there before the first cup. Enjoy listening to that. I start with Hal Anthony, 7 Central, followed by Jules. And then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Lonnie Clark. She was just on. Enjoy the education. So, yeah, sometimes I feel if I were the ruler of the world, the benevolent dictator I'd be, I'd make it right. That's that old argument. Come in. Okay, I hear you. Can you feel it when it ain't real? Do you feel it? Do you sense it? Does it make sense? Do we dance with the devil? What are we? We are, ain't we? What we are, or were, and even will be. And what's the debate? Without logic, you got to leave it, right? Go ahead and act like you can kick my. As I ask the question, does that make you tough? Does that make the might like maybe? Does it make it right? So we ask then, where's the law in legal? Well, if it's hitting you, you can sing that old, strum up that old country song. I ain't got nobody to blame but me. But I know what's right from wrong. I think you do too. It's built in. So where's the test in derision and indifference? Where we're the same but different, or do it the same, or do it together, tag team. Remember that burning building. Yeah, you can deny authority, but it will not deny you. It's a dawning of realization, right? Hunting, fishing, loving every day. Tradition. It's living and loving and getting along. Where you stand for something without compromise. It takes grit. Grit comes from the grinding down, the resistance, the opposition and forces. Even a huge boulder can be beat down to sand. It's not that I think everything happens for a reason, but it's best to make the best reason, right? It's best to make sense of what's happened, the best reason of what's happened, why it's happened, and how it's happening now. Backtrack. This is a... No. I want to cover a little bit from Hal for the Bundys and those folks out there. I guess everybody heard by now that Pete Santilli's been released. A lot of people believe that, weren't surprised. I met Pete, had dealings with him. I have many questions, but the main thing here is no matter the technique, press being held like that. Jason Patrick, let's not forget him. Great hero. But still there's some charges to be looked at in Nevada from 2014. I was there. So I'm thinking I'm holding this to the very end. My exit, I will right there, and come back to this right here. I've got notes along the way, and I covered this last week, but I didn't go to air. The audio was beyond what I thought was redeemable. So just a little feedback here on episode 2, Jurisdictional Challenges, part 2. Want to refer you to RealLiberyMedia.com, the show pages on Behind the Woodshed. Want to outline that how Hal has consistently given explanation of what it is that has been presented, or what was those that were there were up against. So in January 3rd, 2016, 4 minutes and 54 seconds in. About kicks it off. But, no, I'm sorry. That is 1 hour and 54 minutes in. At the very end of the broadcast would be the intro for me. So, then go ahead and just start from the beginning, or at 1 minute in. And find such as quo warranto in challenging the jurisdiction, as opposed to the filing of a motion. Looking at the courts, the different courts, Article 1, and is it competent to hear an Article 3 case? Hal was talking about that again this last week on the past cast from Sunday. Anyways, continuing here. Case as an administrative judge resides over a territorial district court. Find out more there, and I'll give you some links also back to the mining district page there, Jefferson Mining District on the web. Then I moved to this year's broadcast, April the 13th. No, I'm sorry, back in 2014. So we go from the first of this year, before Lavoy Finnecane was murdered, and everybody was rounded up, and then ended up the the few holdouts there at the Moyer, the Harney County Resource Center. So April 13th to 2014. Go if you went for the Bundy Ranch, and where Hal was advising how to proceed, starts at 1 hour and 16 minutes in. Now, then from there we'll go to BTW RLM 175. Little way of finding these shows a little easier. Excuse me. And that is from August the 14th, 2016, discussing Ryan Bundy and where he was attacked by the jailers. So starting at 25 minutes in there, charge the official. Then go at 3 minutes in, prima facie evidence, summary statement, and law that they violated, and also extraordinary remedies. And then go ahead to 56 minutes in. Now, excuse me while I turn the page. I'm just gonna go give some short outlines here, just a few little things that you can go to look for. BTW RLM 177, August 28th, 2016. The fact that we don't know is self-evident proof. Show they are the obstruction. Identify it. They are in the crime or that which is against us. And extraordinary remedies, right? Here again, recapping that 113 and 16 jurisdictional challenges, or kind of play on words, Oregon occupation. They did submit to jurisdiction by arraignment. Okay, so go back and listen here. Allocation, quo warranto, Article 1 is Article 3. Turn the page. So we got bigger and better things. Silence of the crickets, BTW RLM 173. First point of contact is local, right? And I was having this conversation with my cousin today. We're talking about cops. And let me come back to that, or reiterate anyways. And who they go to and how to proceed is dictated by policy. And this policy comes down from the Bar Association, legalism, corporations, whatever. Anyways, it's in a way that they've identified themselves and caused us to identify ourselves within that what exists. And they have usurped our way of life. They have. They've taken it through cronyism, the lobby, all this stuff. Government no longer serves us. It serves itself and those that occupy it. So that's where we need to direct the fight, is against those individuals. Identify them, bring them out, cause them to give answer. Death is the ultimate answer or response, is it not? More or better info brings a better answer or response. So going to the Second Amendment, like Hal says, if we've gone to the Second Amendment and we need that, it's too late. So enjoying the crime, don't join in. Occupy the seats, not the streets. Shout out to the late Will Roberts of Vocal Local. We need to see this settled peace. The soil disposal. Move from the cricket to the grasshopper, past him and on to the ant. Think of what those images bring to your mind. Collapse the illusion. Well, how do you do that? The perception. Call it out. It's your own or one presented, given substance to it. How do we see it? How do we see it? While we tend to our own environment. What matters more than what's past is what is present, what is right now. Choices to be free, not liberties. Jurisdiction applies to their place. Those that are occupying that place, If they're out of place, we need to call them out. When abuses exist at the source, the crime against us, what has grown up around us, the system with the agents that encroach the peace, the law that is black and white, implemented war crimes, willful and knowing, that is a crime. Just look at this whole system of criminals. It protects itself. Propped by the Bar Association. And I'll pause as I flip to another section just to make sure that I've covered this that I wish to cover, and then we'll close out. Hey, it's 20 past the hour. You know what that means. So, let's see what action should one take as our customs and traditions evaporate. The true right way, ones that make us free, not in positions of force, not oppressed, not that we have to hunker down. Most people they do want the short answer, and it's a mental block. Like you just throw your own red herring out there, leads you astray. It's a physical obstruction in your mind, and there is a logical order for rhetoric. BTW RLM 175, objective facts. How do we find approach, and how do we respond? Pre-remedy and jurisdiction. Also, broadcast a note, June 26th, July 3rd, August 14th, I've mentioned before, and back up to May 8th. Pause. Okay. I'm going to bring this to here. The hopeful monster is back. Indeed. Forget the chicken and the egg. And this is from this week's broadcast from Hal. So 5 days ago. 9/4/2016. The hopeful monster is back. Cancer cures. Talking about the malaria and how they're looking at that as a cure for cancer. Well, it probably existed, in this world in disarray, in the chaos that's created, and also in the science part of the de-evolution of life. But there's a fit sometimes, right? Like cannabinoids in the brain. Presumption is the propaganda, and the cure is the cover-up. From the FDA, CDC, AMA, and so on. And the dinosaur roared, fighting its extinction. And we keep peeping, pecking at the shell as we hatch our escape. Stand up and do something. Uh-oh. No way. Okay. All right. Well, it's connecting, and I'm ending the broadcast. Thanks for listening. Come on back to RealLiberyMedia.xyz. This is Vincent Easley, and many other names. Peace.